Welcome to Expert Insights, your window to industry trends and an inside look from the decision makers shaping them. Today, we are featuring Gordon Dudley, CEO and founder of RDI Worldwide, who provides insights on the future of leadership development and team building practices for remote workforces.
I think that the key takeaway for organizations is that there has been now a much more clearer separation of the work that needs to be done to build a team. That it doesn't just happen by osmosis, it doesn't happen just incidentally and casually, that this is something that, and that's maybe because of the virtual environment, that unless you are co-located where things can happen more naturally and almost without effort, that really needs to be focused on. And so I think it's great to see HR tech has a huge opportunity now. I mean, things like gamification are trends which have been around for a long time, but maybe have been dispelled as not important or not necessary. And I think now they're coming to the fore as being the new tools, the new ways and methods to build teams effectively given the current circumstances. I think for me, I'm based in South Korea, and from the Northeast Asia region, I want to be very optimistic about the opportunity of this new situation being a democratization for the entire economy. And I think that the more in which work does not have to be done in a specific location at a specific time allows us to be much more democratized when it comes to the right person for the right job. It also means for a cross-industry opportunity as well, so that there can be more flexibility across industries as the ways of working become more visibly similar. When it comes to the challenges, especially when it comes to technology, often it tends to be kind of almost two steps forward, one step back. So people rush to adopt a new technology, and then after a certain kind of bedding in period where people get familiar with that technology, then there can be some further tweaking and customization, which leads to a slight return. I think that the demands have been different according to whether the companies are in the process of doing that, or if they have been born out of it and therefore are already kind of digital natives at an organizational level. In the first group, the demands are still high for the actual kind of core skills around digital technical talent, whether that's digital marketing, whether it's actual IT technical skills for their core technology and the ways that they're working. Of course, the second group, they already have that type of skill set very much within the organization that's core to their business. So I think that there is a kind of a more superficial, lighter type of demand coming from those kind of organizations. Employees demand something that is customized to them at a personal, individual level. And so the way to provide that is through new channels, which are able to provide that flexibility, that opportunity to access all of that online training, in order that they can pick and choose exactly what would be right for them, in order that they can build the type of career and the type of receive the type of support that they feel that they need. When we think about talent acquisition, we also think about retention. If you can have a really good employer brand, a company that people want to work at with a great culture, that employee turnover will be lower, the retention will be higher, and consequently you won't need to do as much talent acquisition on an ongoing basis. If you can create your employees to be your actual ambassadors, your very own kind of talent acquiring channels, the people who will be your advocates, telling their peers, their networks about your company and how it is good to work there and that they are having a good experience, you will actually be able to acquire the talent much more easily, at a much greater volume, and also be able to retain them. And so that's a kind of like a double win that is an opportunity for companies to look at. The trend which is gaining in importance and absolutely critical for companies to adopt and integrate into their organizations is flexibility. And I think that flexibility comes from the ability for people to choose how and where and when they work. The first challenge of that is always, well, flexibility comes at a cost. But I would argue straight away that any of those costs which might come from implementation of a more flexible system are still much, much less than the cost of retention. From a leadership perspective, that flexibility also needs to be, how do you manage your people? How do you communicate with them? What are the structures that you are implementing to get feedback, to conduct meetings, to be flexible, even around communication when it comes to email, realizing that in fact having a more diverse workforce when it comes to the work that's being done is ultimately going to lead to a better result. And that for me is something that is going to be the key driver going into the next few years.